Hello, and welcome to Pixels and Points. As always, I'm Susie Brown, media buyer, planner extraordinaire here at Red Rock. And with me, I've got.
Matt Nelsen, the digital media director here at Red Rock. And today we are going to be talking about AI and search. What's happening in the news? AI upgrades come to search ad campaigns with Google's new AI Max. This is a direct outcome of if you've been working in Google Ads. There's a tactic in there called Performance Max that's kind of just you just dump all your creative in there and it tries to do all of this stuff for you. This is going to be Google's Search Max just for search, and it is an interesting new tool that's coming out. It is going to start being outlaid later this month, so we're going to be integrating it with most of our clients, if not all of our clients.
Mhm.
And it does a whole bunch of interesting things. Did you see any of the interesting things happen that you're interested in there, Susie?
Yeah, well, one of the first things I thought was interesting was kind of how they were talking about the keywordless technology, right? So keywords they're never going away, but just a different way to approach everything.
Mhm. It's going to work. There's a change to the reporting. There's a change inside of how it's matched and where it sends you. There's just a whole bunch of changes that can happen with the new AI Max, since it's going to do a little bit more thinking when it's putting together the search campaign. One of the things that it'll look at is it gets that search term and say it matches your search term to somebody's search. It will, of course, it already picks what it thinks is going to be the best, headline and all that kind of stuff. But now it's going to look at your site. And if you enable this, it will take that person to a place on your site that it thinks will be best served as for their search term.
That's great. Yep.
So if somebody's looking for, kids' birthday parties or something else like that, and you have a specific birthday party page on your website, it's going to, whether you've created an ad specifically for birthday parties or not, it can send them and tailor the ad just for them and send them just directly to that site. And what I think is also interesting is that when you're trying to look at conversions, and right now you can't really see which headlines and descriptions are working, as in like
Mhm.
when somebody, sure, you can see how many like impressions they're getting, but you can't see how
Right.
many
And like the
clicks
search
somebody's getting and how
terms.
many conversions on the back end are coming from those headlines that you were serving people. What this will do is when you go into your keyword terms where you can see what people have searched or what they typed in that match and what keyword it matched with, you can also see what the headlines were that made them click. So if you're getting conversions on one keyword, you can actually see what the headline is that Google is sending those people with. So you can see what's working, and then you can maybe take away some other headlines and some stuff that's not working. Although with the AI Max, I feel like it should do it itself.
Exactly. And just give you a recommendation. And
Yeah,
another thing it was saying as far as, yeah, all the reporting was you get more information on URLs, like where the users are going after they search, which I thought was really interesting and absolutely valuable information.
yeah, it's a lot better information on the ad platform side. So I think this is going to be a really big benefit to AI, to Google AI search. Now, what was very much more interesting was the very end of that article. There was a section that they talked
Yes.
about
Yeah, I
like the
did not.
future of search, because as we in the media industry know, search is not going to stay the way it is. I was having a conversation the other day that it was we were talking about this, and I came to the realization that my kids, my grandkids,
Hmm.
tell them about how, like, when we said Google it, what we meant was that you'd go into a search bar, you'd put in the thing, and you'd have to like comb through all these search results. While if if the term Google it is still going to be around, it's going
Hmm.
to be them talking to like a search chat that they have. Like it's
It'll
like,
be a conversation versus
yeah,
having to use those research techniques, right? That we all learn to, like going to the library and looking up an encyclopedia.
yeah, and I have a few different AI search bots. Just on my phone, and the handiest one that I've had. I'd like to try some other ones that are more conversational, kind of like Meta AI, was that I could just have a conversation. I could just talk, and I would say like, I'm interested in this. Like, where is this? Like,
Mhm.
I was looking for a hotel. It said these are the hotels. I was like, all right, what's the general cost of them? And then it goes, well, the costs range. They're like, it's an actual conversation I'm having with somebody. Like, if I'm planning a trip, it feels like I'm actually talking to what a discount travel agent. You know what I mean?
Yep. And as far as like consumer behavior after that, it's almost like an endorsement. Even though you're talking to your AI bot, you're having a conversation with a trusted source.
And so the biggest, I think, roadblock that most of the companies are having to like really bringing those services out and bringing those like a robust service is, how do we monetize this?
Hmm.
And so what Google is trying to do is it's trying to take its current model and parlay it into its next model, which is going to be their Gemini search. And what they have right now is it's kind of like a weird gray middle ground where if you do a Google search, you'll see that AI response at the top. And
Yep.
each of the responses, you'll see a little link, and then off to the side where they got the data. And like, so they'll say like off to the side, this is where the information came from. So they are going to start with this Max AI Max for search. They're going to start incorporating your search ads into those responses for the AI stuff. So if you look
Which
for,
is great.
fun stuff to do in Topeka or something like that, there is a lot of ads from places that are say like fun stuff to do in Topeka. And so um whatever ad wins that bid, it's gonna have that in the response, but it's gonna say sponsored off to the side. So that's how they're gonna start doing this. Now when
Right. So
you're
you can actually truly have a sponsored ad with the AI search. So
Yeah, and
brilliant.
when it finally goes into like Gemini as a conversational thing like Meta is, I don't know how that's going to transfer over though, when how they're going to tell you that it's a sponsored result, or maybe they just won't say it's a sponsored result. Maybe when it shows up on your phone in text, it's going to be like highlighted green or yellow or purple in a different color, and you just are
Hmm.
going to have to know that that means sponsored, or
Right.
it'll
It'll
say,
be it'd be nice as advertisers if it wasn't labeled, but I can't imagine a
oh, like,
situation where they
yeah, like
wouldn't
as it's
be
saying
able to
it, and it
call
types
it
out
out at
all.
some point.
Yeah, as it types out all the answers on your phone, it'll just like be in a different color, and little in parentheses it'll say sponsored, but it won't say
Exactly.
that as it's talking to you. Is what I'm thinking it'll do.
Right. You'll just read the first few sentences and be like, got it, click through. So I
That's
think
what I can see
it's
happening.
definitely changing, but like we're kind of always talking about, they're always going to find a way to monetize everything. So,
Yeah, and I love that second last card. They're like, the Google advertising leaders declined to comment on how the ongoing search antitrust battle with the U.S. Department. I'm like, look, they're not going to have to worry about that for too much longer because there's so many AI models that people are going to be using that are going to be searching for everything. Now,
yeah.
I haven't seen what's called a killer app that's like the AI model that people are going to be using, because I've used ChatGPT, I've used Meta AI, I've used Gronk, I've used
Hmm.
a bunch of different ones, and I haven't felt like one was hands and feet above it.
It'll
Yeah,
take time. I mean, eventually one I think will rise to the top just with any technology, but
like I said,
too
I
many
like
players on the field
I like
right
the
now.
Meta AI one that I was able to just have a conversation with, and it could tell when I started talking, and it would stop talking, and then it would just pick up wherever I stopped it from talking, and it would come back like if it had an answer for me, and I had stopped it to ask a question, and it was actually the answer I was going to say. It was like I said, like I was going to say. So it's like
Got a little
actual
snippy with you.
conversational model. It felt much more natural, and I think that's where the AI search needs to go to, is to have like an
I
actual
agree. Yeah, I
actual
think you're absolutely right.
organic. So, I mean, I think this is going to be a big shift, and this is just one extra puzzle piece in Google's search AI search that it needs to integrate so that it can be a lot more flexible when it comes to giving results when it finally puts out its Gemini search model.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
And from a buying standpoint, when you're setting up campaigns, we've got to make sure this is an opt in option now, but eventually they're saying it is just going to be baked into everything we do.
Yes, it's an opt-in. When it becomes available for everybody, it'll be an opt-in.
Yes, still in beta, but when it's open, yeah.
You have to go into your settings. You have to go into the campaign if it's an existing campaign and opt into it. Or when you're doing the settings, there will be when you're going in and creating a new campaign, there will be an option to do the AI Max in there. We will be testing it out, and we'll let
Yeah.
you know with how we feel about it when we're using it. But I haven't heard anything bad from it right now. You will have to give up a little bit more to the AI as you're placing it. And
You
people
got
like
to give a little to get a little.
we like to keep our thumb on search results and how things are going. We will be doing the testing, seeing where it's a benefit to give up that control and where you need to hold on to it at least a little bit longer. And
Yeah. Yeah.
like with AI headlines, some of the headlines are you just you're gonna need to hang on to those headlines.
Questionable.
It's going to be really nice to see those and see what kind of results you're getting from those headlines. So that's what I'm really looking forward to as well.
Definitely.
All right.
Well, great. Always on the cutting edge. But another episode of Pickles and Points done for the day. And we'll be back next week with more media topics to discuss.
Yes. See
See
you
you
then.
next time.